Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin' Out on WYES.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin' Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hi, Peg.
Hey, great to see ya. Alfred Richard, who is the movie critic for WWL-TV. Hello, Alfred.
Hello there, Peggy.
Also with us, Doug MacCash, who covers the arts and culture scenes for the Times-Picayune, the New Orleans Advocate. Howdy, Doug.
Hey, Peg.
And Alan Smason of TheaterCriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hey, Alan. Poppy, a dining special across the lake.
Lots of special. This is all about the Tammany Taste of Summer Savings Pass. So this is an event that's happening in August through August the 31st. And, you know, there's a great little vacation to be had, barely 35 minutes across that causeway to the North Shore. And what you're going to discover are discounted prefixed dinner and lunches, and we're talking 2 and 3 and 4 course meals, ranging in price from $15 to $48. And all of the most delicious places are participating. I love that Chef Mattia, who has Pyre Provisions over there. I think he's holding a piece of fish. There's a lot more to be eaten at Pyre Provisions than just the delicious meats that he cooks. Oh my goodness, the food is wonderful there. The Lakehouse is serving up gorgeous food at their discounted price. The English Tea Room has specials, Del Porto, but there's so much more than dining. The canoe and trail adventures, Honey Island swamp tours, even the Gold Coast skydivers are all included in this Taste of Summer Savings Pass. There's discounted rates on hotels and bed and breakfast, and all you have to do is go to tammanytaste.com, and all of the great deals are right there, and like I said, barely 30 minutes away.
Poppy, the idea of spending a weekend, going over there, and if you're driving, of course, from, the North Shore, in the South Shore, you really don't want to have to do that if you want to have a glass or two of wine, right? So what a good idea.
What a great, New Orleanians have been summering over there since the 1800s. So the 21st century needs to make the trip.
Right, the ozone belt, as they used to call it, as I recall. Yeah. Thank you so much. And moving over to Alfred, so much activity on TV and movies in New Orleans. Yay, it's coming back, right?
I'm so happy that it's coming back. There are at least 10 productions in the area, ranging from Baton Rouge to Slidell, and of course in the Orleans and Jefferson area. And we are also getting some news about one of the productions that has broken. I could say this is one that Disney was not expecting. They were about to put together a new program, a new series called Ultraviolet and the Black Scorpion. Now, this was going to involve Scarlett Estevez. She was going to be the Ultraviolet, and it was going to involve a gentleman by the name, his name is Blue Demon Jr. Yes, he is a luchador, a wrestler, but we received late breaking news that Blue Demon Jr. is out. He is out of the production. The production has stopped at this point, and it was being filmed in New Orleans. No news on why Blue Demon why he is out in the production. Disney is obviously not happy. This was going to be filming all the way into January 28th of 2022 as part of a new series for Disney and Disney streaming. So we will keep you up to date on what's going on, but as of now, Blue Demon is out for the count, and we're going to try to find out why he is tapped out of this program. Yipes. It's hard to believe I'm actually doing breaking news on Steppin' Out. I feel like I should be doing Eric Paulson's job. Another film that is going on, big cast, it's called We Have a Ghost. It has nothing to do with Scooby-Doo, but it has a great group of people here. Jennifer Coolidge, who is one of my favorite actresses, Tig Notaro, New Orleans' own Anthony Mackie. Of course, he has association with Warren Easton High School, and David Harbour will be part of the casting of this film. And this has been going on. The filming started on July 12th and will go all the way through September 16th. It will expect a release date later this year or early 2022. The next series is something called Cherish the Day. Now, this was produced by Ava DuVernay. It stars Henry Simmons as the lead character, and another greatly, I enjoy her performances, Joy Bryant as well. This is a poster from Cherish the Day, and you can see it is worked with the OWN network, that's Oprah Winfrey's network. Again, produced by Ava DuVernay. It started filming on July 12th and will go through September 16th, and you'll see it soon on the OWN network. So what we're seeing in New Orleans area, you'll probably see, if you go down St. Charles Avenue, you may see a house that is all covered in black. There's filming going on there, and your intrepid reporter is trying to get more information about that as well. And there are so many others. And in the second segment, I'm going to talk about a film that's wrapped up, talking about Sean Payton and yours truly.
And yeah, I'm so excited about that. Very interesting. DuVernay, who has some Louisiana ties through her biological father, seems to really like, filming in New Orleans. So that's good news for us in the economy, isn't it?
That's right. Queen Sugar, for example,
yes.
She spent a lot of time. I was on one of those sets. I hate sounding like I'm in all these films.
But that's
I'm
fun.
usually on the cutting room floor. But yeah, she really enjoys doing it. And even Adam Sandler, he loves being in New Orleans, and of course this is all part of the second segment. That is a tease for the next one.
Okay, that's right. Thank you so much. And Doug, tradition, now it's called Fidelity's White Linen Night, but it continues on, doesn't it?
Yeah, White Linen Night is back. It may not be exactly the same, but last year the event was scrapped, and this year it's on, so that's a huge improvement. It is the beginning of the New Orleans art scene season. And it's also one of the great elegant street parties in town. Thousands of art lovers gather on Julia Street. You hop from gallery to gallery, taking in the art while you're showing off your best summer fashion. And it's all free. There are bars on the street, food booths, a lot of fun. This year, you get to pay in cash, so there's no double line to buy a ticket and then stand in line for a drink. Last year, as I said, the street party was scrapped because of COVID. And this year it's on, but it is certainly COVID conscious. We're going to have to find white linen masks to wear.
That's right.
And the gallery capacity is going to be limited. There'll be people at the door to make sure it doesn't, we don't achieve our customary crowds, because that could be unsafe. At the CAC, the after party, the dance party that takes place later in night, you have to show proof of vaccination or proof of a negative recent COVID test. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Yeah,
now I know you wanted to mention one particular work of art at the CAC. They have a big exhibit, don't they?
They do. They have a big exhibit that is so of the moment. It is about health and about the human body and about such consciousness. And there's a great piece called Vaccination that by Sue Asinia, that pretty much encapsulates the period we find ourselves.
Yes. And it is a group show. I wanted to say kudos to Stephen Forster, who has a photograph in the show, too. So congratulations to him, longtime Picayune advocate, of course, photographer and freelance photographer, too. Thank you very much. We'll be coming right back to you, but now time for Alan.
Well, Peggy, you better watch out, Sonny Crockett and Rico Tubbs, because there are a couple of guys who are being mistaken for one another, as well as another gnarly situation. They're manservants, each of whom sort of bear a resemblance to a certain surfer and stoner named Spicoli. The fellows who created Balloonacy and Rapunzel, the radical buffoons, have turned Shakespeare on his pointy little head and spun the improbable tale of mistaken identity into a wildly imagined feast for the eyes, replete with cool pastels and the unmistakable sunshine of the 80s basking into the characters there. Leading the cast are the two sets of twins. That's Michael Forrest and Matt Gilry, and Reed Williams and Matthew Rates. The conceit of the piece really is that they're separated as youngsters in a storm at sea, and they've grown up in separate locales, unaware of their doppelgangers. But on the distaff side, I have to tell you, there is Layla Bedouin, who is a striking actress. She portrays the role of Adriana most remarkably, fiery and passionate. She mistakes her husband's look-alike and his servant double for the pair that she knows, and she is aided in her, I guess you might say, her fury and her state of frazzledness. She's basically figuring out what's going on by Monica Harris, who plays the role of Luciana. Again, there she is. That's Layla. Again, using inspiration from TV's Miami Vice and other 80s icons. You've got other people like the designers Christopher Arthur and Hope Bennett, who really transform the South Beach area and a nightclub. It's just really a fantastic opportunity to see some wonderful talent on display. Now, unfortunately, as you know, this was the first time John Green directed, and his co-director is going to be in charge of the remount. But unfortunately, due to COVID, all of the remaining performances have been canceled. Now, normally I wouldn't mention something, but because they are having a remounting in January, I want people to take that into consideration when they're thinking about going to the remount in January, that it's worth seeing. Again, The Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare, and Tori Haywood will be the director on the remount.
I got to see it, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is so sad that those performances were canceled.
But this is, trying to keep the audience members safe as well as the cast members. So I have to also let everybody know that meanwhile out in Kenner at Rivertown Theaters, director Ricky Graham is putting the cast of Hello Dolly through their paces, and it can now be announced that Ashley Smetherman-Lemler will play the role of Dolly Levi.
Oh,
She'll be joined on stage by Joel Rainey as Horace Vandergelder, and Bryce Slocum as Cornelius, Liam Gellan as Barnaby, and Micah DeSaunier, one of our favorites at JPAS, will be on stage as Irene. Harry Marone Jr. will be serving as music director, so a possible live ensemble for this, which opens on September the 10th. And Peggy, we have to say that Netflix dedicated the latest episode of Outer Banks, TV series that they have streaming, to none other than our very own beloved Carol Sutton. She, of course, was a character on the show, a recurring character, played a mother of one of the characters, and they acknowledged what we already knew, that Carol was indeed a queen. You can check yourself out on Netflix right now. And you may not be a Yankee Doodle Dandy, Peg, but you might want to check out the virtual George M. Cohan Tonight presentation starring John Peterson. He adapted this live stage performance for the small screen. The work's being presented virtually on demand for a pay-for-what-you-can-afford option. They suggest $25 as a fundraiser for the Irish Rep, but they will graciously accept whatever you feel is in that deep, big Irish heart of your own.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Moving back uptown for Poppy, right?
Oh, yes. I venture to say this might be the most hipster effort we've ever seen on the uptown side of Canal Street. This is the new Mr. Mouse. And of course, we're talking Chapatula Street, where Dick and Jenny's used to be. They describe it as a tropical roadhouse, and the flavors being drawn from Southeast Asian, Indian, and Mexican. Anything's on the table there. This is Chef Sofina Ong and her husband, William Wildcat Greenwell. Now, she was a Food Network star. She's a West Coast import. The dishes, look at this crazy stuff. Look at those beautiful Chesapeake-based scallops. Now, they want you to know this is not Chinese food. That is not a dim sum cart that's going by. I want you to look at the escargot Wellington there. That is a preserved lemon cream. And you see that green powder on top? That's powder of stem. Now, this is stuff that we've never seen here in New Orleans before. The pani puri with the mint fire water. That's red bean and potato masala with pickled blueberries. And when they say fire water, they mean it. As a matter of fact, if you're not a fan of spicy, you may want to have some things toned down a little bit. Bar snacks like deviled almonds and plantain chat, a ginger salad with peanuts and currants, and save room for dessert. It's as wackadoodle as everything else. Dark chocolate tart, black garlic, peanut brittle, coconut cream, and cocoa nibs. Okay, yikes. Delicious yikes. And they're closed Tuesday and Wednesdays. It's dinner only, although they do intend to open for lunch soon, and it's making a stir. Don't miss it, Mr. Mall.
Okay, thank you so much, Bobby. And moving back over to Alfred for yet more news.
I think that's the first time we've heard wackadoodle being used on Steppin' Out.
I think you're right.
But again, I lived in that area. I know that area there. It looks like it should be interesting to get to. We're going to the second segment. Now we're going to talk about some other productions. And this is one in which she's an Oscar-winning actress, and she's now a producer. Reese Witherspoon. Now, a few weeks ago, there was a lot of buzz about the idea of Reese Witherspoon was in the New Orleans area, scouting areas, and she's been all around here and in Slidell for a film that's called Where the Crawdads Sing. The main actress is going to be Daisy Edgar Jones. She will get the cameo starring role in Where the Crawdads Sings. And one of my favorite actors, David Strathairn, who I've loved ever since Good Night and Good Luck, he is also in this film. It is filming right now in the New Orleans area. You can see this is based on the Delia Owens book. The film is filming right now in New Orleans and Slidell and all around the state of Louisiana with a release date of 2022. So Where the Crawdads Sing, looks like they're going to get it right, and they're not going to have those things like in the Big Easy where someone mispronounces a lot of New Orleans things. But of course, we're all Saint fans here, and we all remember where we were February 7, 2010, when the Saints won the Super Bowl 31-17 against the Indianapolis Colts. It's instructed in my brain here. But what happened, of course, made for a great premise, and of course, one of the New Orleanians, we say that because he is, of course, the coach, Sean Payton. It's a film that's called Home Team. Now, it's not necessarily all about the Saints. It's about the year that Sean Payton was on exile because of Bountygate. Kevin James is starring as Sean Payton. This is being produced by Happy Madison Productions, Adam Sandler's group. It also has a number of people, and as Hap Glaude used to say, here's something for the ladies. Taylor Lautner, he is also one of the stars in Home Team. As you can see him there, all chiseled and ready. And there's another person in the film as well, strangely enough, not as chiseled, but a bit grizzled.
Yay!
I was picked as a defensive coach on the sidelines during the famous Tracy Porter interception. So you can see me about ready to bark out commands to the defensive players as we're about to make the amazing play. It, again, produced by Adam Sandler and his Happy Madison group. The filming wrapped up in New Orleans last month. It's amazing how high school stadiums were converted to look like Hard Rock and NFL stadiums, but it worked. The movie magic there with a release date of 2022. Could be earlier if the Saints do well this season. You know, they may want to strike at the iron's hot. If the Saints do well and get closer to getting back to the Super Bowl, even without Drew Brees, that we may see Home Team a little bit sooner.
All right. Thank you so much, Alfred. Back to Doug with our emphasis on White Linen Night. So many galleries, and Arthur Rogers got a big one.
Yeah, there are 20 galleries and museums to visit, but certainly one of the highlights of the night will be the Black Beauty exhibit at Arthur Rogers. It's a collection of works by African-American artists, from modern master Romare Bearden, who you see here from the mid-20th century, to New Orleans 21st century hero Brandon B. Mike Odoms, who you see here. The artworks were selected by art benefactor Tim Francis, and he wanted to achieve a range of expression to see what black artists were producing across the country at this moment. He said he'd seen the works. Of course, he was very aware of the works, but when he finally saw the show put together on the walls, he himself was stunned. Despite his anticipation, it was better than he expected. Among his favorites was an alluring but mysterious portrait by Los Angeles artist Leslie Starr that went by.
Mm-hmm. And it's great to see Tim Francis doing this because, of course, we remember him as the publisher for the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate. So it's great that he is keeping active in other ways as well, isn't it?
Maybe a different guy.
Oh, maybe I have said it confused. All right. Oh, well, to be continued on that. But moving over to Alan.
Well, Peggy, one of our local treasures, both when he was here and away, and I believe he was in China and more recently in Atlanta, is Brandt Blocker. Brandt has returned back to New Orleans to take over the Genesian Players at Archbishop Rummel High School, and I hope to have him on Monday's broadcast of NOLA Theater Talk. We're still coordinating his appearance, but again, it should be Monday at 8 p.m., and those of you who are unfamiliar, you can watch it on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group. You have to become a member of that, or watch it on the theatercriticism.com Facebook page. That's free, as well as on YouTube on my own channel there. So check it out if you will. Now, in 2017, Peggy, the Lincoln Center Theater set up something called The Wolves, and back in 2019, Aimee Hayes actually presented it. It's Sarah DeLapp's work about an all-female group of young players playing soccer. They are basically a soccer club. The original production, again at Lincoln Center, was extraordinary. A video was shot really intended to be stored away for the future, but never intended to be broadcast. Well, the current pandemic has changed that. Lincoln Center Theater is offering their private reels now, and they of course did Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike, and the Royale. Now they're streaming The Wolves for free now through August the 15th. I urge everybody to watch this remarkable piece on winning and loss. The young cast members really are skillfully portrayed, and they really kick those soccer balls around to each other while portraying their characters. And of course, they also pass on all the angst of adolescents who have a lot of problems. It's performed without intermission. It runs about an hour and a half. It's time well spent, and you got to register, but it is a free presentation. Now, also, Peggy, many of us will know the comic genius, if you will, at times, of Christopher Lloyd. We remember him from the Back to the Future film franchise and earlier from TV's Taxi. Few of us can imagine him in the tragic role of Shakespeare's elderly King Lear, but he does this. It's now streaming on demand for a limited time, and the cost is $25. You can get it through the location there, Web Tix Online. Again, if you want to check that out, webovationtix.com. Check that out. Again, Christopher Lloyd, of all people, is King Lear.
All right. And Alan, just thinking about the last now a little bit over a year and a half, what virtual and streaming has done for theater, hopefully maybe trying to develop some new audiences, do you think?
We could have never imagined it. And I think what you're going to see more and more of is going to be a hybrid, that people who don't feel comfortable yet in going to the live theater will be offered an opportunity to see the same performances under a SAG-AFTRA contract as well as an equity contract to allow them to stream it into the homes privately. It'll also have a revenue source for these theaters who really need it.
Yeah, and even, every week this last few months, we've been talking about Seth Rudetsky, who's busy in Provincetown. But the whole idea of being exposed to these Broadway stars with something fairly simple in terms of just setting up, we've got the piano, even though technically it's amazing, and then the singer might be somebody totally, on the other end of the country. Right. But doing that, I just, there's been all these opportunities to grow, hasn't there?
It's an amazing thing. Not only are we seeing the talent coming to the fore and saying, I'll help you. But it also, technically, we were challenged. Now we know how to do it. I mean, when we talked about Zoom before, we used to take it as a meaning to zoom over somewhere. Now we know it's to zoom somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Alan. Now it's time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
There's a very special, well, 2 opportunities, 2 dinners, Wednesday and Thursday, this coming up week. 4 courses. It's Le Creuset and Chef Eric Cook at Gris coming together to showcase the new color of Le Creuset, Cayenne. So there'll be a Cayenne welcome cocktail. There'll be wine pairings. This is going to be a very special dinner with Chef Eric Cook making everything yummy.
Sounds really good. All righty, Alfred.
At the Britannia Canal Place and at the Broad Theater, a very good documentary called Roadrunner, a film about the late, great Andrew Bourdain and his influence on life and food.
All right, Doug.
In the category of gently subversive conceptual art, I wanted to give a shout out to the anonymous smart aleck artists behind the tongue-in-cheek Giant Cone for Mayor campaign that you can find at giantconeformayor.com.
Thanks.
To laugh.
It's great. Alan.
Orange is the new black, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, I got to tell you that Revel has opened up. So those of you who are missing that, the bar is back open. City and state officials, meanwhile, are body's being urged to mask up. But despite that, I want to tell everybody that my favorite mask maker, Lena Prima, is coming back to the Hotel Monteleone starting tomorrow night. She'll be returning to her favorite place at the Carousel Lounge. That's Friday and Saturday nights beginning at 9 o'clock. Again, check that out. And Peggy, guess what? I'll see you at the theater.
Alan, do you think that might be a regular gig, or they're just going to try it out and see?
Yeah, no, I believe it is. She has had a little bit of a rough time over the course of the last year, too. So she's coming back from some challenges, but she is ready and raring to go.
Okay, good. And back to Revel, though. Let's remind everybody that, of course, Revel is right there in Carrollton near Canal. And Chris and Laura, they do a great job with wonderful interpretations of drinks. Chris, and I think that, Poppy, you would certainly agree, what is one of the best known and most qualified bartenders in America?
He is one of the greatest of all times. There is no cocktail history that anybody's got between his ears like Chris McMillan does.
Yes, and new chef and great food, so check it out, Revel. And I know you're such a cheerleader for it, Alan, but me too.
The peanut butter burger, back on the menu.
Okay. All right, real quick, my picks. Musician Christian Surpass's duo will be playing at Felix's on the lakefront that Saturday from noon to 4. As part of White Linen Night, from 6 to 9 on Saturday, artist Carol Halleck is going bananas with her new solo show at Gallery 600 at the corner of Camp and Julia Streets. Gorgeous renditions of banana trees, so much a part of life in New Orleans. And photographer Luke Fontana will showcase his photos of traditional jazz musicians at the American Italian Cultural Center. That's at 537 South Peters. And thank you all so very much. Thank you, my little gang, my pals. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin' Out on WYES.